I think standards-based report cards has a lot of validity to it. It gives an overall picture of where the child is. I've heard parents say that they feel like it could be subjective, and so I want the parents to know that really we want to work together. We want them to be able to see in each academic area where their child is being successful, where their child may be struggling a little bit, what we can do to help. I feel like the parents grew up with grades, and so that's something they're very comfortable with, and so we want to help the parents understand this transition into standards-based, that it is research-based, it is based on the text, and so maybe some training with teachers to help them understand, you know, what the standards mean. What does an ES exactly look like? What does an MS? Maybe some more rubrics to help us and the parents together sit down and talk about how we got what we got, how we keep the grades, because I think the parents aren't quite sure. How did you come up with that?
Division.
Division. So if you got an AS in division, that doesn't mean you don't know how to divide. That means that when we do division problems daily, maybe some days you really get it and some days you kind of struggle with it. The ES means that you're exceeding the expectation, which means you're consistently doing above and beyond what we would expect you to be doing in third grade. When you are getting an MS, that means that you're doing exactly what we expect that you would be doing in third grade, and you do it consistently. It means you're always getting it. You're not really struggling with it. And AS means that you're getting what we're doing in third grade, but maybe you need some more practice. Sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. So you need that, you're inconsistent. You need to be a little bit more consistent. And you're able to do it all the time instead of just some of the time. And then DS means that you're developing the prerequisites for the standard, which means maybe if we're doing multiplication and you're struggling with addition, then you need some more help with addition before you can move on to multiplication and be successful. So we're developing those things that we need in order to be successful. And so when you're getting MSs, that means you are right where you're supposed to be. And when you're getting ASs, you're right where you're supposed to be, you just aren't consistent with it. And if you see DS, what does DS mean?
Pretty bad.
Means pretty bad, Samuel.
Like you just started on the thing.
Okay, maybe you just started on it. Does it mean that you're almost there, or you still have a lot of work to do?
You still have a lot of work.
You think you still have a lot of work to do? I think it really helps the parents see, okay, my child is doing really well in spelling. Maybe they're struggling a little bit in writing, but maybe as far as punctuation. They're a very eloquent writer, but the mechanics are not there where they need to be. And so it really gives an overall picture of where the child is. So, Megan, when this was your the report card that you had last year, how was it different than this one?
M was the best, and it mean like mastered.
Okay.
P was practice.
Okay.
And I think the last one was N, means you need a lot of work on it.
Okay, you need more time and work. So you had 3 letters last year, and this year you have 4 letters. So it's a little bit different than what you've had in the past. I do like the fact that the standards-based report cards breaks behavior apart from the grades, the academics. Because in the past, if a child, you know, if something was late, a teacher may take off points on the assignment. This breaks it apart. These are the academics, these are the behaviors. And so you're able to address both, and the parents can see both at the same time. It is a lot more work for the teacher, but I think it's a lot more beneficial because it truly makes the teacher sit down and think about each child. When you're doing small group, you're really focusing on, I usually have one of these on my clipboard, and I'm looking at when I'm doing guided reading, when I'm doing math groups. Okay, these are the things I'm looking for. Are they struggling in this? Are they seeing this? Are they getting this? Are they doing this? I do have a grade book where I keep MS, ES, AS in the grade book. And then I also have a master book where I'm also looking at benchmarks. I'm looking at how they did on TAKS. I'm looking at the whole child, not just specific assignments. So when you're really sitting down in the evening, in the afternoon, during groups, when you're keeping your little anecdotal records, it really helps me takes the subjectivity out of it, because I'm really looking at what the child is able to do on a consistent basis. And I think the confusion between the MS and the AS is that they're able to consistently demonstrate it. So, you know, I think the district's done a great job, and they've listened to the parents, and they've already said next year it won't go to 4th grade. Maybe sometime it will, but there's a lot of work I think that we see needs to be done and the parents see needs to be done, and we want the parents to be comfortable with how we're evaluating their children so they can understand that.